This weekly update is a bit behind. I've been a bit sick this week, so I still want to get one done. A few days behind, but we'll try and work through this. For anyone that's new here and hasn't watched this before, this is a weekly AI news update that I do as part of my job as CTO of Aerion Technologies and Nvidia, where I try and stay on top of all the AI news and happenings in the world so I can try and educate and help our team understand what's happening, as well as try and keep myself up to date with news and everything. And since I share this update with the team, I then share it with you guys on the internet. So here we go, reading this for the first time and haven't read this before. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Roundup. This week was jam-packed with deep dives into how AI tools are being optimized for coding, heated debates especially around the model rollouts with GPT-5, and plenty of industry drama involving everything from chip deals to bold acquisitions. Optimizing AI performance and workflow in coding. One of the themes this week was managing context overload when working with your AI coding tools. Videos such as Claude Code isn't broken. I learned that coders can see accuracy drop from 90% to 30% if the conversation gets cluttered. And this really happens when you have way too much context. So not enough context or way too much is a problem with these AI models. This video suggested the technique was like a confession booth, 50% rule. Focus sub-agents and totally resetting your context. So clear out, do one task at a time, reset, start again. I seem to find that is the best way to get anything moving forward. Also another video from Vercel, which was evals are not unit tests. That video looked at how we can systematically test non-deterministic systems using evals. Love the words like that when people just don't understand. Non-deterministic means we let the AI figure out what it has to do. We can't control it. It's not programmed. And Anthropic got a 1 million token context window, which was only available on certain tiers, the enterprise level, if you're on the highest paying plan, until it rolls out to the general public, which I'm not sure when it is. Million tokens is about 75,000 lines of text. So you could put an entire code base in, multiple books. So I wonder how this will work, especially their needle in the haystack tests were 100% accurate, which means in that 75,000 lines of text, they were able to pinpoint a specific word or wording, like a sentence or a phrase. And every time they did that test, they passed with 100% accuracy. So they did something really good there and got the turnout from it. So maybe overloading the context may not be a problem, but I think it still will be, just it's going to improve. Deep dives into AI evaluation, interpretability, and AGI progress. Another significant focus has been understanding how AI thinks. A detailed discussion in Anthropic's interpretability, understanding how models think, break down how models from internal circuits, and even use backup responses. This kind of work not only critical for AI, making AI more reliable, but it's also a step towards ensuring AI safety. So once they understand how it works and how it thinks, you'll understand if it's trying to stooge you or deceive you in what it's doing in the output. I think one of the interesting things I saw about that was how they calculate maths when you want it to show working out. Like it doesn't do maths, but what it does is it knows the answer up front and then it works out backwards and gives you the steps of how it would get to that. That can still be wrong and you have to ask it again to do things, but it's not doing maths. It knows the answer because it's seen that response somewhere and then it works backwards to give you how it would work it out. The opposite of what you would expect it to be doing, which is working it out and then giving you an answer. In the AGI space, Daniel Perzik from Amazon AGI and Demis Hassabis from DeepMind provided fascinating insights into building more human-like general purpose agents. Danielle's useful general intelligence talk how agents like Nova act and perform everyday tasks reliably by aligning human cognitive patterns. Meanwhile, Demis Hassabis discussed shipping momentum, breakthroughs with world models like Genie 3, and the importance of rigorous evaluation benchmarks in his conversation. So those benchmarks are key at the moment. The problem is it looks like the AIs are not progressing enough because they're acing the benchmarks here, but the AIs can do more. But when we first started these models, they were 10, 20% in benchmarks, and then they got 30, 40, and then they got to 60, 70, and then 75, 76, 77, 78. So it looks like the jumps are not as high, but if they're maxing out benchmarks, which they're getting 100% and things like that now and getting gold medals in the Math Olympiad, what does that mean? Well, it seems like the perceived jump in intelligence isn't that high anymore when it really is, but the benchmarks don't show it because the benchmarks are useless effectively. So there has to be different ways to do that, or they have to be a bit more clearer in explaining how a model is different from another model. Like what can this one do that the previous one couldn't do? Everyone just expects huge jumps when the number goes from GPT-4 to 4.5 to 5 to 6, 7, 8, whatever it may be. Then on a podcast, the Open AI podcast featuring Jakob Paczocki and Szymon Sedor took us on a journey from the early days in Poland to exploring deep reasoning breakthroughs. They discussed how benchmarks are evolving and why familiar tests like math competitions may soon hit saturations because our models are getting too good at thinking with their internal tools. Again, they're getting good at those, so those examples of testing human intelligence don't work because they've got these tools and are able to solve things very well on their own, so we need better ways to test and evaluate the outcomes. Controversies and challenges in GPT-5 rollout. There was no shortage of controversy with the GPT-5 rollout in a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago now. Multiple videos dissected how its much hyped launch quickly fell through the trough of disillusionment. People expected great things from it. They got rid of the old models. People started using GPT-5 and they had a problem. OpenAI then admitted that there was a problem with the model selector because it rolls out an automatic selector to explain how it picks what level of thinking is required on its own. And apparently there was a problem with that on the first day. Then they fixed that and then they released GPT-4o back into the model selector because that's what people were inquiring about. Whether it was a real problem or not, or they just pinned it on that, who's going to know? Are we entering the AI trough of disillusionment? Haven't heard that one before. Reviewers compared benchmark results, coding performance, and even discussed issues like hidden model switching that left users confused and frustrated. So Twitter was people going crazy over that. Like, why'd you get rid of old models? A lot of people were upset about how it was going away and how they were using it and no other model works like that and they were becoming dependent on it and all this sort of stuff. Controversy reached a high note with videos like people are upset that GPT-4o is going away. And a GPT rebellion wins back 4o. Here users expressed a strong emotional attachment to GPT-4o, with many lamenting the loss of a friend-like AI personality in favor of a more sterile GPT-5. People don't like the way it responds, they don't like its tone, they don't like the way it talks to you. It's not like a friend, it's more robotic, so I think that was the biggest problem. On top of that, why everyone hates GPT-5 video, Matt Wolf ran through his multi-part gripe analysis from disappearing legacy models to underwhelming performance in coding and maths, and offered some perspective on gaining user trust by reintroducing what worked before. They brought back 4o, but didn't bring back any of the o3 models. I think they're still available by an API. So there is an effect there that people who are building apps and platforms on these things will have to make changes. The other sort of issue is it's maybe has to be prompted different and may do different responses, or you just got used to what was coming out of one and how to work around it. So it's a bit different, but I've been using it. I haven't had an issue with it. It's doing what it needs to do, but I'm not using it like a psychologist or a friend. It's an assistant that does work for me. Switching gears to the business side, in breaking news, industry movements, and market dynamics. There were several bold strategic moves, and one surprising move, Perplexity offered $34.5 billion to buy Google Chrome. This was reported by Bloomberg. They've got their own AI browser, but it's very hard to get people to swap browsers. So if they buy Chrome, they get Chrome's user base, which is not going to happen. There's no way Google would sell that. Nvidia made headlines with a deal according to Nvidia, and AMD agreed to pay a percentage of Chinese chip sales as revenue to the US government. This allows them to now sell to those markets where there was an embargo and they weren't allowed to do that before. This unprecedented move, brokered at times with high political intervention, has massive implications. So then, if China can do well without markets, they're thinking, from what I understood from a few people above my pay grade, understand that they would prefer those markets to leverage Nvidia and AI chips rather than, like, say, Huawei or another company, because then they're not getting that revenue from it. And if they can achieve the same results using these other platforms, why allow them to take that revenue instead of having Nvidia get the revenue and provide the same value? Like, the embargo just stopped them, but they still got around it and can deliver great models. So they're taking a different approach on that now. And then also Elon Musk and Sam Altman started arguing over Twitter, or X, which was meh. New tools and creative applications. Innovation wasn't only about debate and controversies. New tools were demoed, like Google's new Opal, which is like an NAN where you control it with natural language. You don't have to drag nodes around, it'll just make them for you. Haven't used it yet, looks interesting. Let me know if you've played with that one. There's another video saying everyone's using AI and no one knows what to think about it. Highlighted that a lot of people are using AI in the US, which is half of American adults, which is unprecedented for a piece of technology that's been around for 2 years, are using it, but they don't know how they feel about it or what that means for their jobs. And then there's a lot of other studies saying 95% of all AI, what do you call them, proof of concepts fail. Big scaremongering headline, that one, but really, what's the problem if proof of concepts fail? You're testing something, it's not meant to work. And you may find that AI agents are necessary for it. I found that out this week for a client. Like, you want an agent, all right, we'll build it, but the cost and the time it's going to take to process, I can code the same thing faster. It's not an unknown problem. Like, you're trying to solve things for things that don't exist. So that was interesting. And it's true, people just trying to make everything AI or agentic. For what purpose? Because it's there. What's the real use case? Why do you really need it? Do you really have something where it's an unknown process and you need that to do it and save you time? No, generally not. You have a chain of things that have to happen in sequence normally to make it work. So I think that's a bullshit title, really. This week really showcased how the AI landscape is both rapidly innovating and facing growing pains, whether it's improving coding workflows, cracking open the black box of AI, or contending with controversial model rollouts like GPT-5. There's no shortage of discussion around how we balance progress and reliability with user trust. On the business side, bold strategic moves hint at disruptive potential of both AI, technology, and global markets. There's a lot to unpack, and I'm excited to see what happens. So this week's almost done. I'm recording this on a Friday, and it'll just go out today, I hope. And then I'll do my next video on Monday. Hopefully I'm better and not getting worse. But GPT-5 was the biggest thing that we're meant to talk about, biggest controversy. It's working. I don't have a problem with it. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. What's your experience with it? Do you have any problems? Do you wish one of the old models came back? And then once again, as usual, let me know below, is there anything I can do better? I know this probably not the best format, but I'm reading something that I've never read, just trying to educate the team. So if you've got something else for me to do or explain or would love some more information or anything like that, please let us know in the comments below. Happy to jump back and make these a bit more engaging and provide more value to more people. As always, good luck keeping up.